time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. In a world controlled by massive corporations, a steady aim and split-second decisions are needed for your Megacon to complete its goals. Begin your missions at the Mercs Hub on beastsofwar.com.
So, hi guys, myself and John are back for more unboxings. Right, Khador, your faction.
My faction. This is awesome looking.
Yeah, this is a character Warjack named Ruin.
Yep. Now this is cool. Let me check that out for a model.
Yeah.
Is that a pelt from
That's
Circle?
an Argus pelt.
Yeah.
From the Circle of Orboros, because you can see the armor.
Yep.
That's on it. That's the sort of style they use. It's really nice. The mace. It looks like this Jack has went out and literally just looted an Orboros camp.
Yep. Now he's a character Heavy Warjack.
He is.
Do we know who he's meant to run with?
It will be on his card.
Right. Okay.
So
we'll
he
find
is
that
a
out.
full, or no, it's a hybrid kit.
Yep.
So metal and the sort of plastic resin.
All right. If you want to go through the stat card, I'll start organizing this.
Okay, so standard for a Khador Warjack. Big, super heavy armor. Armor 20. Defense 10, so he's easy to hit. I believe he causes terror. He's Rat 3, but he doesn't have a shooting attack. Mat 8.
Right.
That jumps out at me right from the get-go going, he's going to be hitting more often than not. He is going to cause a lot of pain. He's Strength 12. Yikes! And the standard Khador Speed 4. Right, he's got his Armored Fist, which is an open fist, so he can do all the throw power attacks and stuff, weapon locks, headlocks, things like that, which are very useful. John, whenever we actually start playing more and more, I want you to have a look at those because they will come in useful for you. Okay?
Yep.
He's also got a Black Iron Mace.
That sounds awesome.
Power and Strength 18. That's monstrous. It's also a magical weapon with reach. Bonuses all the way. So he's got that big 2-inch bubble around himself to hit people. So if I have something that doesn't have reach, you can be away out of my melee range and you can just be hacking away at me with that mace. Right, so if you want to show some of the components while I have a quick look at the back.
Right, yes, well, for a start, we're going to look at that for the torso. Yeah. That's insane.
It's real. It's actually, for Khador, I'm going to say this, Khador is always big and brutal.
Yes.
This looks a little cleaner and more dainty.
Yeah, but when you look at the shape, I mean, the shape is a lot more angular than regular Khador Jacks.
Yeah, it looks like an artisan has built this rather than just punched out on the assembly line.
Yep, and I mean, the most impressive thing is the filigree and the runes.
Yes, and around the cowling of the head.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. They've also modeled a little bit of scarring and stuff on the shoulder and around the back.
Yeah, and there's actually a little bit of detailing in around the smokestacks, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, and that is a very, very nice cast. Very nice piece indeed. Yep. So you have back of stat card now?
Yes. The affinity is Zoktavir. I think that's the Butcher.
You think?
I think that's the Butcher.
Alright, okay.
But basically, whilst in Zoktavir's control area, Ruin gains Boundless Charge during its activation. A model with Boundless Charge can charge without spending focus or being forced and gains +2 movement and Pathfinder.
Right.
So all of a sudden, he's going up to speed 6, which is as good as damn near any Signar Jack for, getting at you.
Yeah.
He's got Orgoth Seal. When a model targets this model with an offensive spell, it suffers -3 range. If a model directly hits this model with an offensive spell, after the attack is resolved, the attacking model suffers D6 damage point. Your casters and spellcasters do not want to shoot this with whizzy-bang spells.
Yeah.
He's got Soultaker. This model gains 1 soul token when a living enemy model is destroyed within 2 inches of it.
So when you're looking at it, this is an assault jack.
This is your alpha strike. This is the guy who's
in
front of the lines.
Yeah.
Or the backswing. Say someone's sent something up that's really nasty. You send this back out. It's really going to hurt. Yes, you're going to need to build those soul tokens, but once they're up, that's going to hurt.
Yeah. So it's a jack that has a lot of very fast burst damage.
Yes.
But its longevity sounds like it's the problem. It's not gonna suffer. It's not gonna do well against large amounts of shooting.
I don't know because it's defense 10, so it is taking the hit, but it's armor 20. And look at the damage grid. There are only 2 boxes on this damage grid which are not taking hull damage to it.
Yeah.
So it's you're you're having to work through a lot of grid work to actually just start chewing into those systems to start with. So this thing's survivable as well.
It's still the Khador heavy. Like it's still a very survivable
and if you throw in a
thing.
couple of the Khador battle mechanics, you know, they're going to keep this thing running all day. You're not going to get rid of it.
So what is the downfall? Where is
that's the thing with everything in Warmachine. Nothing is bad. There is no downfall. There is just a better tool for the job. You know, that's the way I've always looked at it.
It feels odd to me because it feels like it's a touch of power creep. It feels like it's getting, this machine in particular is getting very powerful.
But it's a character jack. It's 10 cost of 10 points. Whoa, hang on. sorry. Your standard character jack is going to be over that 10-point limit.
Yeah.
Normal Khador jacks are hovering in around that 9-10 sort of area. You know, the really main battle line ones. This thing's godlike. Right, it's got 2 more. So it's got special issues Zuchtveer, which means it can be included in his theme forces. So absolutely brilliant. You then have the Black Iron Mace, which has a special on it, which is Dispel. When this model hits a model or unit with upkeep spells on it, they immediately expire. So there's another debuff. So say you're playing Signar and you've put on an extra bonus to its defense or its armor.
Yep.
Whap. Oh, that's gone now.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Right. Well, let's continue on with some of the parts.
Yep.
Okay, because you have chatted a lot there.
Yeah. That generally does happen with these types of unboxings. So we have his main arm.
We have the arm with the shield and the shield face.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yep, it's very nice.
Let's see if I can actually get it to sit on.
It does sit rather well. So you can... I say it sits rather well.
It sits rather well, but it needs a little glue. But no, that's lovely. Like I said, this thing looks as if it's just been stealing kit from Orboros.
Yep.
You know, and it's lovely.
Yep. Right, well, we'll look onto the Black Mace. I mean, well, hang on first. We'll look at the other...
Now, there's one thing to note. This does not count as a shield.
That's the open fist.
Yes, that's the open fist, but even though this is a shield, it doesn't say it's a shield on the stat card.
Right.
What a shield does is it gives you an extra +2.
Okay.
So you're not getting that from this, so there's a downside.
So this is decorative?
This is all decorative.
Still?
This is probably the seal.
Yeah.
Is what I would assume this would be.
Yep. Okay, let's have a look at the mace, shall we?
Yes.
Once we...
So how many components does our mace come in?
I believe we're looking at about 4 pieces here, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Really find, yes, I can find 4. So
you have
the main
mace, yeah.
And then we have the 2 extra blades.
Yeah.
Like so.
Oh, look at them. Those are really, really nicely done. And the detailing on the actual blades is just going to take glow effects beautifully.
It feels a little Crixian.
Maybe a touch.
Maybe
a touch. I don't know. It feels more circle to me.
Yeah.
You know, the design is very much, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a heavy war beast out of circle running around with one of these.
Well, let's look at the other pieces that have circle written all over them. So we have the pelt.
Yeah, of our Argus. So we have the head of the Argus and
one of the arms.
And one of the arms, which you can actually see has that nice armor from circle. So if you're a circle player that's also playing Khador, you know, you might feel a little bad for your doggy that got killed, skinned, and hung off a Warjack, but you're already going to have the experience of painting this type of fur.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's really, really nice.
And for Khador players, it adds a nice little splash of differentiation to what is essentially
instead of being the red tide. Yeah. Although I'm noticing, you see on here, you have little extra pieces with more of that runic symbols on it, which is lovely. You know, so like I said, if you're a painter that loves his glow effects, this is going to be a beautiful piece to work on.
Yep. So we're continuing the theme of this whole very angular sort of jack design. I mean, look at the legs are nowhere near as formed as the regular heavies.
Yeah, these are really just 2 big brutal legs. You know, the feet actually look really... I'm sure there's probably a couple extra pieces to go onto these feet, just for the toes, because they look really sort of, I don't know, stumpy.
I have a feeling there is. Yes, there is, because there is a toe piece. Hang on.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yes, there is another toe piece which goes onto here, and yeah, that feels more like a Khador Jack's foot because it looked a little incomplete, a little stumpy.
Yep.
You know, but even the actual work on the front section, you've got sort of little claws down at the front of it, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't imagine this thing actually charging up a hill with those big toes digging in.
Yeah.
Is this the face?
This is the face of death.
No, this is the face of ruin.
Check that out.
Yeah. Again, it's got a really nice knightly feel to it.
But it's elongated, and I personally, in my opinion, elongated stuff looks creepier.
Yeah.
You know, it's less knightly, it's more Plague Doctor, it's more evil feeling, very sinister.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I will give you that one.
That's going to be awesome to paint. I'm going to have to paint this.
Yeah.
I will. We have a few other bits and pieces.
This looks like armor.
For the shoulder.
Yeah, so this is nice little armor segment. And is that it? Yep.
It's got a skull.
We have a skull.
It has a skull.
We have a skull.
We have the corresponding piece, which is a bit plainer.
Yeah, but I like that because it's differentiation. It's not all mirrored.
Yep.
You know.
We have our usual
smokestacks,
which are a bit shorter on this jack.
Yeah.
A bit more spread out.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the shorter smokestacks. You know,
it's spikes.
Of course, spikes. This is a character jack. What would it be without spikes?
Yeah, we have the rear of the hip armor, and I believe that's probably the
So we have the butt flap, and we have the front flap.
Yes.
What? There's a butt flap and a front flap.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
We then have more chainy runic goodness stuff going on there.
Yes. Little talismans and things, which are really nice.
Our last three pieces are our 2 arm joints.
Yep. So these are the 2 upper arms.
Yep.
Which have some really nice piston detail in them.
Yep. And we have the hip as well.
Yeah, the actual lower torso. Again, lots of nice piston detail and stuff in through here.
There's plenty of stuff to be getting on with, and it's a model that, well, nearly every jack model I think should be painted before it's built.
So what, you would do the sub-assembly?
Quite possibly, yeah. That would be my approach to it, if you're really wanting to go for the high detail stuff. Yeah. If not, you spray it black, you dry brush it, and then you put your primary colours over the top. Yeah,
so you're sort of doing a hard highlight by a dry brush on the black?
Yeah.
That could be an interesting way to start a paint job. I've never thought of doing that.
Well, we can have a look. I can talk to you about that. I can teach you this.
Okay, well, you can try to teach me this. All right, what's left?
That's it. We have covered it.
No, there is another arm.
I put that one in earlier, but you were talking.
All right, well, that's the other arm which actually holds
this.
Our Black Iron Mace.
Yes.
And again, you can imagine getting backhanded by that. A jack getting backhanded by that in the face, just tearing the head off.
Yeah.
You know, it's what I love about Warmachine. You can imagine these things just tearing chunks out of each other.
It's something that they've managed to keep a theme of going very well, is that all the machines are big, heavy, lumbering beasts.
They are brutal.
Yeah.
Right, so, guys, I think we're going to go away. We're going to build this, and we'll come back for a part 2 to let you see Ruin built and ready to rock and roll on the table.
Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastsofwar.com.
And we're back with Ruin. Is it awesome?
It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. However,
yes,
I have some caveats that I want to throw into this.
Right, and I have a little backstory which I read.
He has a little bit of backstory. When you come to build a model, you want to focus on getting all the detail on the shoulder and the torso first. Don't worry about the legs. Don't worry about the arms. In fact, leave the arms off to last.
Okay.
Because you're going to have an incredibly big problem trying to pose the arms.
Otherwise, I assume?
Yeah. If you don't have the pelt and everything in place first, you will have major difficulty posing.
That's fair enough.
Okay.
That is fair enough.
So, let's show the kit. Look at it!
It is awesome.
It's so good!
It does look really menacing. I mean, like, I was reading the backstory to this. Basically, all of this kit is not Circle of Orboros like I thought.
Oh.
It's actually all Orgoth gear.
Okay, so are they an older race, or...?
Yes, basically they invaded the Iron Kingdom centuries ago until there was a rebellion. And so there are still tombs from their time left over with magical artifacts and stuff.
Sort of like really weird arcanotech and stuff like that?
Yeah, really old school stuff, which is still incredibly powerful. So what happened to create this guy was that some Grey Lords broke into an Orgoth tomb where a ancient warlord had been buried, discovered all his old gear, which was all still magical and stuff and still pretty damn powerful. And they decided, you know what, we don't want a human to be rocking about with this. So we're going to try and blend the Orgoth magic with our Mechanica and they've created this, which is apparently an incredibly malevolent machine on the battlefield.
So when you were flicking through the book, it said stuff like this thing is actually aware.
It's almost aware.
It's almost aware
because the actual artifacts are whispering to its cortex.
Right. So it's being told stuff.
Yeah.
And the cortex is sort of trying to process that in a manner.
Kill, maim, destroy.
Yeah. So yeah, crush, kill, destroy.
Because it makes it quite hard to control. There's only one man they could really send it to, which is the Butcher, who they assumed is quite used to hearing voices inside his own head.
Right.
Which is fair enough because he does.
Okay.
You know, there was a story of him dancing with his long lost love Lola in the middle of a bar, then having a bar fight while he placed Lola behind him to protect her from the smart arses in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, it turns out Lola's his axe. He was crazy. He put his axe behind him and beat the 7 shades of crap out of the guys who were taking the piss out of him for dancing with his axe.
That has put the most magnificent image into my head of the Butcher, who's not exactly a small guy.
No.
Dancing around lovingly with
his axe.
With
Lola.
his axe.
Yes.
Whispering sweet nothings into the side of the axe, going, Lola. And all these guys going,
yes. Oh, my darling, I found you.
I found you at last, my Lola.
Yes, at which point there's bloody bodies, severed limbs, all over the bar. He's redecorated.
So Ruin is basically the mechanical embodiment of the Butcher.
Yes.
This machine, which is
gloriously insane.
Almost aware, but not quite.
Yes.
Just needs to go out and kill stuff. This is what this machine wants to do.
Yes, and because the Butcher's used to hearing voices in his head, he'll just think he's got a couple extra to the party when he hears the talismans talking to him via the Jack.
Now, does he think that it's the Jack talking to him, or does he know
I don't know. Possibly in the story we'll find out.
Does he think he's talking to the Jack and the Jack's talking back to him and he's like, this is awesome, I have a brand new friend. He weighs 26 tons and can run through a building. Absolutely gorgeous kit. With those caveats that you got to be careful of how you pose the model.
Yeah, so basically I assume it's this arm with the pelt that gave you the bother.
Yes,
because this is a lot to go under that pelt.
Yeah, because I've posed the arm before I put the pelt on.
Yeah.
And because of that, the pelt's not sitting just the way it should be. It's not sitting flush enough. Yeah. So that is completely my fault and my doing. That's nothing to do with the actual quality of the kit.
Yes, it's just, no, you know, if you get this kit, put your pelt on first, then build your arm up in beneath it so it fits.
Yeah, take your time with the pelt and make sure that these spiky bits here
are the right way around.
The blank one, because you get one with 3 and one with a blank. The blank goes underneath the pelt. So
I see.
Make sure you do that as well.
It's a gorgeous kit. It's big, it's heavy, it's brutal, it's Warmachine. It's the only way to describe it.
It's going to be in my army.
Yeah, so I have to find something for Scorn to really kick the arms race off. Right, guys, myself and John are going to move on here. Hopefully you enjoyed that look at Ruin and that little bit of rambling.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you in the next video.
Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of masked fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. Keep your blaster handy, the West is a dangerous place. Fight to survive as men turn to monsters and the dead rise on the Wild West Exodus Hub at beastsofwar.com.